Okay guys, time to do the next mod spotlight, which is on the Runic Dust mod by Billy the Goat 101. This mod has some very interesting stuff. These are the Runic Dusts, crafted like so. See how handy any eye is? The plant Runic Dust is a mixture of any type of plant and charcoal or charcoal, either or. Just very handy. And then you have the gunpowder runic dust, which is gunpowder and plant runic dust. I don't know why that just showed me that. Sorry, I must have re-clicked you. Plant runic dust, as you had already seen, and then we have the gunpowder, which is our gunpowder runic dust. Oops, that's also not the button I meant to use. And then using charcoal or coal once again, and lapis, we get the lapis runic dust. And pretty much the same for the blaze, except blaze powder and lapis dust. Now, as you may have already noticed, there's also this book here, the Runic Tome. You craft the Runic Tome with the book and any type of runic dust. Using the book and the dust and some wood, you can craft a runic lexicon. Wood surrounding this. You can sort of ignore this block. You must have forgotten to take it out. The runic dust around in the corners, and this piece of wood planks around the book. When you place down the runic lexicon, this is what you see. The runic tome is a visible book in the lexicon. Now, you can't right or left click to actually open this. If you want to open it while it's in your hand, you have to hold your crouch button and right click, and there you go. Excuse me. And let's really get into this mod. So, as I already said, runic dust, and this dust is placeable on the ground. See? And you can't shift right click because that's for removing the dust. I was shifting while I was trying to do it there. So, and the different powders or dusts correspond to different powers. So, if we take a look in our lexicon here, you can see that there's a purple dust, and there's only 4 types of dust. Green, gunpowder, plant, gunpowder, lapis, and blaze. In that order, they get more powerful. So, this gives the rune for creating torches. Now, this rune will spawn a torch, or if a piece of flint is sacrificed, a beacon. So, as you heard, sacrifices, and keep forgetting not to shift click. Now, that's how you create your rune. You just do that, and right click with the runic tome, and it made a torch. Now, if you break the torch, you do actually get it, so, but you use a piece of coal in this, so it's a fair trade in my opinion. And then you can do it with different ones for creating more powerful effects. Like the dusts get more powerful as they go on, so let's just do the next one, the Rune of the Rabbit Hole. The Rabbit Hole is a great showcase for this. So this is the green rabbit hole, and make it and step on it, and you have your rabbit hole. And this is just a little square hole that you can reside in for the night if you're stuck for anything. And if you want to get out, you just shift. As you may have noticed, I was in here, shift, and you're out. Now, that's what, a 3x3 hole? Not too impressive. Break the rune. Let's go over here, because it does matter where you place it, because you could end up in the same hole again. And just do this. Now, you may have noticed my hunger bar has gone down. If you actually look back a couple of seconds ago, before I made the rune, I had 2 hunger bar down. And now it's gone down to 4. And if we look in our runic tome, the sacrifice is 2 hunger. So every time you start up this rune, you're going to lose 2 hunger. So, now, look. This is a very handy way of finding coal, even though you need coal to make it. Well, as you can see, this is a slightly bigger hole. It's now a 5 by 5 by 3. The original was a 3 by 2 cube, so, and shifting anywhere in near the torch will bring you back up. So, plant dust gives you a 3 by 3 cube. This gunpowder dust gives you a 5 by 5 by 3. What does a lapis dust give you? Oops. Also, left clicking on the dust will break it. Oops, you can't actually combo the dust. So, that's one thing. And there you go. It's now a 5 by 5 by a 5 by 5 cube. And back out again. Now, blaze powder, as I've already said, is the strongest. Over here, somewhere where I can actually fall into a hole. Blaze powder is the strongest and biggest. Some V's crystals from Thaumcraft. Oh, it does place 1 torch in the room for you. And what does this? Oops. Because you have to shift to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A 9 by 9. Direwolf 20 would approve. Alright. Let's clear this up. Now, if you actually, hang on, grab my morning star here. It is actually a hole in the ground. It is actually a hole in the ground that you can go into. You don't have to have the rune up there, but the rune gives you a secret entrance into it. That's why I was moving around in placing the other rabbit holes. Now, you're probably wondering, if I had this in my inventory, what would be the point in getting this runic lexicon that you can place in the ground? Well, let's say you didn't have the runic tome in your inventory and you used it in this crafting bench. You use this in this recipe. No, I'm not clicking, but that's what's happening. So, you can left and right click on the block and it'll bring you through, and you can just see right now all the different types of things you can do. Now, the only problem with this is it doesn't actually explain to you what the rune requires as a sacrifice, or what the effects of the rune are. That is something you'll have to find out later. Now, I want to show you what I consider to be quite an interesting rune. This one. So, it's just lapis filling an entire cube. Let's create it. Now, oops. And that happens quite a lot, by the way. God damn it. Stupid magic mouse. Macs come with a magic mouse, and I'm on a Mac. So, if we re-grab our runic tome, and shift right click, and we scroll through. There it is, the Rune of Spirit Tools. So we can use a gold pickaxe for TNT. So let's find a gold pickaxe. Oh crap, hang on. Disable. There we go. Where is the gold pickaxe? Gold pickaxe, there we go. And TNT was also a requirement. I really should have prepared this beforehand. For TNT, and what was the last requirement? 18 experience. So 18 XP means 18 levels. So I'm just going to save that down there and be back in a bit. Okay, so now we have enough levels to do this. You're probably wondering, why does it cost so much XP to get this? And if I actually flick through, you can see that most of these require a high XP level. So it's something you have to pay attention to quite a lot. So if I now right click, oh crap, right, yeah. So let's just remake it quickly. You notice that I right clicked and nothing happened, even though I had the sacrifice items in my inventory. That's not how it works. So we recreated the rune, throw the TNT on it, and you notice that the TNT is not bobbing up and down like a normal item you would throw on the ground would do. See? That's bobbing up and down nice and freely, while over here in the rune it's sort of jittering. This is so that if you're close to the rune, you won't actually pick it up unless you're right on top of the item. So it's actually a safety mechanism for doing all of your sacrificing. Now, this is how you sacrifice items. You have to throw them onto the rune, and then when you right click with the book, it'll activate. Now, there's our spirit pickaxe. Pick it up, because it was still attached to the rune. Now, spirit pickaxe. And as you can see, it's enchanted with knockback and smite. So, let's go kill this cow. Oh. Well, then again, it is a pickaxe, so it's not going to do as much damage. But knockback. Epicness. Good. Now, there is quite a nice place over here that I can show you the awesome function of the pickaxe. Down here. So, this is just a normal sort of ravine stone wall. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that feels good. Now, this is sort of like the destruction catalyst from Equivalent Exchange, except that it digs too deep every time, and it doesn't actually drop any of the items. Doesn't drop them in the item ball format. Now, you notice that it doesn't actually take out this gravel. Well, that's because it's a pickaxe. Pickaxe don't affect gravel. You should know that. And it does seem to do it in 3x3, but since there's already one block gone, it doesn't actually do a 3x3, it does a 2x3. So, that is the spirit pickaxe. Now, there's also the spirit sword, and we're ready for that. Okay, so I had the sacrifices placed, but I still need to regain that experience, because once again, 18 levels required. So, give me a sec. Okay, now I have the level requirement and the sacrifices on the rune. So right click, rune activates with this nice effect, and we have our spirit sword. Now, this is one thing I actually want to show you. You can mess around with the rune, the dust, whatever way you want to, and you can, if you right click, all the dust in the adjacent blocks go grey. Now, let's just wait a couple of seconds and hold out our spirit sword. Oh, what the hell is happening? It's decaying. That's a very nice effect. Eventually, the rune can power itself off, and then eventually it'll decay, so you don't have to worry about it. Worry about looking after it and all this, and having to destroy it afterwards. The sword has the same effect as the pickaxe, knockback 5 or knockback 10, smite 5, and god damn it, all the animals in this area have disappeared. And you can just simply whoop, kill a cow, one hit, unlike the pickaxe. So you can use the dust in whatever way you want to create special things. Now, there is a couple more bits of runic dust that I want to show you, and I'm going to leave for this episode. Now, another part of the mod that I would like to show you is scroll paper, not scrolling, scroll. And the recipe for scroll paper is paper and 2 gold nuggets. It'll give you 1 scroll paper. Now, this is where the runic lexicon really comes in handy. So, let's say you're flicking along. This one looks interesting, but I don't want to be running back and forth trying to make it. Right click. Oh, we've gone down to 63 and we have a rune of teleportation placing scroll? Huh. Well, let's see what it does. Oh, it placed the rune for us. How nice. Now, that is very handy. If you have a really big rune, like this one, at the very end of the book, this one has a huge rune, takes up a lot, See those little grey areas? That's one block. One block. It's a very big rune. It's very handy to just get a piece of scroll paper, right click, and you have the scroll for trying to place it. You right click on the scroll, but I don't have enough dust. It actually does a check in your inventory to make sure you have enough dust replacing the actual rune. Yeah. Yeah, that happens sometimes as well. Anyway, doesn't always work. Now, this rune has a sacrifice, but we can't actually find out what it is unless we look in here. An Ender Eye, which actually should be Ender Pearl. I tried it with Eye of Enders and it doesn't work. It has to be an Ender Pearl. And 20 experience levels. Well, I don't want to just get a little bottle of enchanting and just start throwing them at myself. So instead, I'm going to get an item called the Negate Rune Sacrifice. This only works while you're in creative mode. So you have to be in creative. And you right click, not left click, right click. Let's just get rid of it all and put it down again. Another neat feature of creative mode is if you have the rune selected that you want to make, right click and it will place. Now hope it works this time. There we go. Now it's working. Okay, up. Okay. So this is a rune of teleportation. Oh yeah. Oh, so it is very specific. Nice to know. Alright, give me a sec. Alright, so this is, as I said, a teleportation rune. Now, it says in the descriptive that it can be linked to different networks. So, if I run through, oh, I'm in my 9x9. Well, it's linked to the grass network. So, anytime there's a block of grass under the front nose of it here, that's the network it links to. So, let's make a stone network. So, if we get some stone, don't know why I may give myself 2 of it, get stone, place it down, don't need the Swift Wolf on me right now, and we can find a negate. There we go, find that, place it down, do that. Now, if we try and connect to the other network, nothing happens. The hell is going on? Well, as I said, it's specific to the block under the front square. Now, if you actually pay attention and read the book, it says over here, the teleportation network frequency on which to send you depends on the block beneath the blaze square in the rune design. And this is the blaze square here. So, this is once again on the grass network. So, if we throw that down, activate the rune, you'll see that it starts off as red because it's connecting to the other network. Now, if I travel through, it brings me down here because that's grass network. But one thing I forgot to mention is it can teleport items. So that's why it went red at the start, because it was teleporting the negate rune effect. So let's just break it, and again in the same place make another version with the stone effect. Boop. And the rune effect travel down, negate rune. Now, this is something you may notice. The rune emits a little bit of light. It's very handy, especially if you're telling me that it's getting dark. So, stone rune makes you travel to the stone network. So, that is very handy if you want to make some teleportation networks and you don't have other mods that allow you to do so. One of which being Portal Gun or Tomcraft. So, this is very handy for you if you don't want to use Tomcraft or Portal Gun. And that is really going to... No, it's not. It's not going to do it for this. I still have one more thing I would like to show you. The hammer and chisel. Let's find a rune that needs this. So, I found a rune that requires me to use the chisel. Clay-filled etchings. Clay-filled etchings. Well, the chisel will allow you to create an etch into the ground, as you can see here. And you can outline an area that you want lifted to the sky with these etchings. So I'm just going to surround this with etchings, and as you can see, that's the decaying over there, just so you know what happens, this etching thing. And all you have to do is actually just right click and it will etch for you. Now, we have a sort of an etched square out there, and as I said, it needed clay, so just right click and it will place clay into the etched area. And don't over click. So you can just right click on the base block and it will place clay in that area. Now, if you were paying attention to the rune, you'll notice that there is some pink dust. Well, pink isn't actually a color of dust, so this rune would not work until you actually place a dust there. Now, you can right click with any color dust and it will change any pink or purple, whatever way you look at it, any of that type of dust into that color. So right click with blaze powder and then turn to blaze into the blaze powder color. Now let's get another negate rune effect and throw it on there and right click. Now blue flames represents the area that is going to be pulling up. Now see when it's pulling up inside of the clay boundary between that and this. Now it's actually pulling up the ground. It's pulling from the grass down to a certain distance, and that distance all depends on the color dust you put in the center. And it's just going to keep pulling it up and up and up until it runs out of the juice. And as you can see, it also pulls up ores. So if you're fast enough, you can take out the ore that stands in there. Now, I'm pretty sure it's going to pull up the blocks, so you won't find out if there's a cave under there. But it's cool nonetheless. It gives you a nice sky pillar to find your base again. Now, as you can see, it's finished. The blue flames are gone. The rune has gone grey. So, it's finished. It's done. And it raised it up here. So, that's pretty impressive. And that is going to do it for today's mod spotlights. I'm going to have another one probably in the next week. Within the week anyway. I hope. Really depends on if I remember to put them up or not. I hope I do. See you then, guys.